Hey everyone, so I just recently picked up a set of these Marshall Major 4 headphones. There doesn't seem to be a whole lot of hands-on info about these headphones, at least as of yet. I'm kind of guessing that people aren't lining up to buy these things the same way they line up to buy the newest Samsung or Apple products, but these are the fourth iteration of these headphones, so somebody's got to be buying these things, right? So if you're interested in how good these new headphones are or just want to know how they compare to the previous generation, then here you go. Basically, I've been a Marshall fan for a long time. I have a Marshall DSL-40C guitar amplifier, an amp I cannot recommend highly enough. Now, I highly doubt Marshall's guitar amplification division has very much to do with their consumer audio division. That's owned by Zounds Industries, which is a Swedish audio company. But maybe it was because I see the Marshall logo every day that I decided to check them out when it came time to buy my wife a new set of headphones. She had been using this ugly set of AKG plastic studio monitors. They were not nearly good enough to be studio monitors, but she was using those when she wanted to hook up to her laptop and watch something on her laptop. So I wanted to find her something decent, something that had Bluetooth, that sounded nice, and didn't look completely dorky to wear. So the Marshall Major 3 headphones really seem to fit the bill. And so here they are in this super cool white color. They also come in a great brown. To be honest, I was not expecting them to sound as good as they do. So when I found out that Marshall was releasing a Major 4, I had to pick up a pair for myself. Unfortunately, you can get these in any color you want as long as it's black. These are the only color that the Marshall Major 4s come in. I would have loved to have seen these in brown like the other ones, but after having both of them, I have to say that I think the Marshall Major 3s look a little bit nicer. I dig the fake Tolex look that kind of brings them in line with their guitar amplifiers. The black is a little bit more plain. It's more just straight up plastic. It does have some of that fake Tolex look on the headband, but not on the actual enclosures themselves. But, you know, that's a subjective thing. Some might find the look of the Major 3s to be a little bit gaudy. And the Major 4s still look great. They just look a little bit more subdued. So it's purely subjective. And on the surface, they look pretty similar. They're both lightweight over-ear Bluetooth headphones. They both cram 40 millimeter drivers into these relatively small enclosures, which is pretty impressive. The major difference is battery life. The Major 3s get about 30 hours to a charge, which is great. The Major 4s get about 80 to a charge, which is frankly insane. Additionally, the 3 only charges by USB Micro B, whereas the new Major 4s charge by USB-C and wireless charging. Marshall also claims that the cushions on the ears for the Major 4s are a little bit softer, something that I mostly agree with. The 3s are still pretty comfortable, at least for me, so I don't notice a huge difference there. It's worth noting that if you don't like the feel of over-ear headphones, these probably won't change your mind. My wife actually doesn't like these all that much because she finds them to be uncomfortable, so this is something that if you don't know if you're used to wearing over-ear headphones, then I'd probably try a pair of these or try another pair of on-ear headphones before you buy these, because you may find them to be uncomfortable. I do not. I find them to be very comfortable. I can wear these for a couple of hours at a time without any problems, so that's just me. One of the coolest features, in my opinion, is this little gold joystick, and this is on both the 3 and the 4. This little gold joystick right here controls all the major functions. You can use it to turn the headphones on and off, to pair them, to increase, decrease the volume, and to skip track forward or backward. Frankly, it's a great design. It's really easy to learn and to use. I wish all headphones had this feature. Really, it's just super easy to use, and I really like the way that it looks too. But the most important part of headphones, in my opinion, is sound quality. And I would describe the Major 4 as being very, very good. However, I would describe the Marshall Major 3s as being shockingly good. I'm not exactly an audiophile per se, but I do like a set of headphones that have a more neutral response. And to my ears, the Major 3s do this a little bit better than the Major 4s. If the fact that I own a Marshall guitar amplifier didn't indicate to you, I do like rock and metal mostly. So I tend to gravitate towards headphones that don't overboost the bass, but instead give me a good, clear, rich mid range. And I think the major threes do that pretty well. The major fours are still very, very, very good. Now, I would not describe the major fours mid range as being unclear. However, I would say there is a little bit less detail just due to the fact that Marshall kind of boosted the bass a little bit more than I would like. There's kind of a noticeable V shape to the equalization of these headphones. In other words, there's a little bit more bass and a little bit more treble and maybe a little bit less mids. It's not bad. It's not much. It's just a little bit more than the major threes, so I tend to prefer the major threes. But I have to say that most people will probably prefer the sound of the fours. They still sound very, very, very good. And they do have a very open, big sound to them due to that solid V-shaped equalization. But if you're an audiophile on a budget, then I would say that the major threes are probably the ones that you want to go for. Now, keep in mind that neither of these has active noise cancellation. So if you're listening in very noisy environments and you need that kind of noise cancellation, then this might be a little bit of a deal breaker to you. They do isolate the sound pretty well. When I'm wearing these, I don't hear a whole lot of what's going on around me, so that's pretty good. They do make a nice seal around your ears. But both sets of headphones sound very, very, very good, and you really can't go wrong with either one of them, especially for the price. Now, speaking of the price, the Major 3 and the Major 4 share the same MSRP, about $150 US. Although the 3 is frequently on sale for about $100, presumably until their new old stock dries up. So now, if you prefer a wired connection, the Major 3s also come in a wired-only option for even less. And it's worth mentioning that both sets of headphones also come with really nice reinforced charging cables and 3.5 millimeter cables that are coiled. It's a small detail to include really nice cables with a pair of headphones, but hey, it's nice that Marshall included some quality accessories. Unfortunately, what it does not come with is a case or a bag. So, if you're going to be traveling around with these pretty frequently, you may want to invest in a case or a bag for these, or make sure that you have a laptop bag or whatever you're going to be carrying these in that can fit a set of headphones this size. And finally, this is definitely a case of comparing apples to oranges, pun intended. But I ended up giving a set of AirPod Pros to my wife, who prefer them to the on-ear feel of the Marshall Major 3s. And even on sale, you can expect to spend over $200 on a set of those. But you might be wondering if I think you should save some money and get something like that instead. Well, if you value convenience and ease of use and design and noise canceling performance and comfort above everything else, then yeah, absolutely, I think that you should save your money. Go ahead and buy a set of the AirPod Pros if you have an Apple product, or something similar if you have an Android product. But my assessment of the AirPod Pros is that they sound just okay. I should hope so. The AirPods have tiny drivers in comparison to the relatively large drivers of something like the Marshall Major 3s and 4s. But honestly, I have a pair of $10 Panasonic wired headphones. If you search them on Amazon, I think it's Panasonic ErgoFit something. They have like 20,000 reviews or something. The best I can say about the AirPod Pros is that they sound slightly better than my Panasonic headphones. So if your concern is sound quality and the additional bulk of a real set of cans doesn't scare you away, well, I highly recommend saving your money and getting something like the Marshall Major 3 or 4, or buying some other brands. You've got great options from Sony or Bose if you want to spend a little bit more money. But yeah, I think I can safely recommend either of these headphones. To me, the 3s are an absolute no-brainer if you can get them on sale, especially for around $100. But most buyers will probably prefer the livelier, more energetic sound of the Marshall 4s. And hey, that insane battery life is a strong selling point too. I mean, under normal usage, you're going to be looking at charging the 4s up like what, once a month, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, you know. That's crazy. Still, I think you can't go wrong with either of these headphones. And unless you're already budgeting like $300 or more on a set of headphones, then I really think that you should strongly consider these. If you already have the threes and are looking to upgrade, I would definitely say to save your money. I mean, these aren't really game changers in my opinion. They do sound nice, and if you do like that bass boosted sound, these may sound better to your ears. But with that being said, I don't think there's enough of a difference to warrant, spending another $150 on a set of fours. So you really can't go wrong with either of these headphones. They put out some pretty serious sounds. And I'm pleased to report that these are more than just cash-ins on the Marshall name and on the classy script logo. These are a quality product at a competitive price. So Marshall, if you're listening, then I wouldn't turn down a loaner guitar amp if you wanted me to talk about that and demonstrate it. But until then, everyone, take care. Have a blessed day. Peace.